Hey guys, this is a Fort Worth Glock guy, and I wanted to make a video on some knives and ask you guys a couple questions and maybe get some interaction going on. If you want to do a VR or if you want to respond, just in the comments down below, that's cool. And get you guys' opinion on a couple questions. The first one is, what is your sharpest knife? And if you do a VR, then you can show your sharpest knife to me. And what is your favorite steel? And what do you like and why do you like it? To be honest with you, like I know this video went around. I want to say probably about a year ago, maybe last summer sometime, and I didn't really have an opinion because I really didn't know. In fact, this I've showed this before. This is my this was one of my very first knives I got, probably in 6th grade or so, and I've had it ever since, and I've used it all those years. And then it wasn't until kind of recently where I've gotten into knives and been aware enough to even buy a nicer knife. And to me, this was the nicer knife. And this one I probably paid, I don't know, 15 bucks, back in the day. And then I wanted something nicer, so I got the Alox version of this, just because I thought it was nicer. And it is quite a bit nicer. In fact, I'm very fond of these Alox Victorinox, but that's not the point of this video. I wanted to kind of get you guys' thought on what you like and what is your sharpest knife, because I know that you can get all of these knives extremely sharp. And what is your preference? Do you like something that is a softer steel that you can easily bring back into sharpness? Do you like something that's maybe a little bit higher end steel and holds an edge a lot longer, but then again, that's a little bit harder to sharpen? So, and this is kind of why I haven't done a video like this before, is because I really didn't know much about it, because I didn't have anything much nicer than like a Victorinox. And then I did get a Spyderco. I think one of my first Spydercos was not the Tenacious, but the Ambitious, something like that. I can't remember. Oh, the Persistence. That's what it was. And it was that 13 CR13 MOV, I think it was. And but anyways, this has kind of been my progression with sharpening too. Like, I've had this little sharpening stone, as you can see, it's my Boy Scout sharpening stone. This was my sharpening method until actually pretty recently, and I would just use this to kind of touch up the blade. Now, you're not going to get the same kind of sharpness using this, or at least I'm not going to get the same kind of sharpness using that as I would some of these other methods. And so I wanted to kind of step up my game a little bit, so I got this little Lansky turn box. And honestly, I bought this because it wasn't very expensive. I want to say it's in the $15 neighborhood. So it wasn't very expensive, and I just couldn't, I didn't want to spend the money on a Spyderco sharp maker. And so that's kind of why I went this route. I just kind of wanted to see, number one, I didn't want to spend 50 or 60 bucks on a sharp maker and not know what I was doing. So I got this because this is kind of like the cheap knockoff version of it. And I really do like this, and it is way more efficient than just the sharpening stone for me, just because I am still kind of a newbie to all of this. So anyways, I got this, and then I started watching videos on sharpening, and of course people have these Lansky, and there's other versions of this too, but again, Lansky is a budget friendly version of it. And you get this kind of a sharpening system, and this has changed my world. To be honest with you, this is an excellent system, and if any of you guys are interested in learning about knives and how to sharpen them, get that system. I mean, it is a great way to get started getting into sharpening stuff, and I'm going to show you some results that I've gotten using that system, because I didn't know anything. I mean, 9 months ago I had this, and then I bought this shortly after that, and I didn't buy this Lansky system until just a couple months ago, maybe even 6 weeks ago, and it is amazing the results you can get from that. And then I kind of made my own little strop here just to kind of keep things nice and smooth and shiny, and it works pretty well too. So, and this was real easy to make. I bought this piece of wood. It's just a plaque from Hobby Lobby, and then I went over and found some leather on whatever aisle at Hobby Lobby where they had some leather, and I just glued it on there, and this works pretty well. It's not the highest grade leather, but I've gotten some pretty good results out of it. So anyways, I just kind of wanted to get you guys in on this conversation and kind of show you some of my sharpest knives that I have. And to be honest with you, some of these Victorinox ones are pretty dang sharp. Like this little pin blade right here, no problem. Well, I do that. I say that, but no problem. And it just cuts through paper. You're gonna have to excuse that because I don't want to restart this whole video. So that's my silly music clock in the background. It always goes off at the worst time. So enjoy the music for another 10 seconds or so. I'll try and edit this out. I don't know how to do that. So I usually do my videos in like one take. So a lot of times if that goes off in the background, then I just start the video over because I don't know how to really edit. So, but anyways, like I was trying to say before I was so rudely interrupted, was you can get these little Victorinox pin blades pretty sharp. Now you're not going to be using these for like cutting boxes open and breaking down cardboard, although I have done that with this, and it can be done. You can just be a lot more efficient with some other blades. This is one of my other favorite Victorinox blades, and this is the Farmer. And what I like about it is that it has a much beefier blade. It's the 91 millimeter, 93 millimeter. Knife techs will correct me, it doesn't matter. So anyways, that's what I like about this one. It does have a bigger blade on it than like the Cadet. I like the Cadet too, but this one has a thicker blade on it. It's a longer blade, and it's just a little bit beefier, which is what I like about it. So anyways, this one, again, you can get these things really sharp, and they just slice through stuff, no problem. They do dull pretty quickly, but they also sharpen very easily too. So sometimes that's kind of a nice thing to do if you have something that you're just going to beat up your blade on. You can use this thing, and you don't need to worry about if you're going to damage your blade, because if you get a nick or something, it's so easy to buff out. It's no big deal. So anyways, these are two of my sharpest knives, and I kind of have mixed feelings on this. I've had this one for a little while. I've had this for maybe, I don't know, a month or so now. And I polished this using that Lansky system. And I don't know if you can see that or not, but I got a really, really nice edge on this thing. And I've been, stropping it and really trying to fine tune it. But I want to say that is my best edge that I've gotten so far. And I think this is just an AUS 8 steel. So it's not as nice of a steel as this Paramilitary 2. Now I just got this one in via a trade a couple days ago. So last night was the first night that I actually did this same edge that I did on this one. So, and this is a, much nicer steel, or it's supposed to be a much nicer steel, is the S30V. And again, I got a nice little mirror polish edge on it, but I'm still working on getting it fine-tuned as far as sharpness goes. It's pretty sharp. I mean, for your average cutting task, it is extremely sharp, actually. But this is a harder steel, so it's taken me a little bit more time to like really get this edge where I want it to be. So anyways, I just wanted to do a few little cut tests, and I've got a few little pieces of paper here. So the first one is just your phone book, and I'm gonna do a couple slow passes and then like a couple fast passes on this, just to kind of show you the differences between these. So this is my CRKT M16, and this is the 01T, so it's the titanium version of it. And I've gotten this thing like really, really sharp. If I can do this on camera. Here, let me just get a fresh one. So here we go. Like, I can do a very slow pass and it just like rips through there. No tearing at all. I mean, it's just really, really sharp. And if you do, a couple of little fast passes through there, I mean, it just like shaves stuff. So, I mean, this one is just like really, really, really sharp. And I want to say it's my sharpest blade right now. And I feel bad about that because, this steel is not as even as nice as this. But here's my Spyderco Paramilitary 2. And this one is pretty nice too. I mean, don't get me wrong, like I've gotten it pretty sharp as well. Like a slow pass, and then I'll do a couple fast passes if I can. I mean, it's pretty sharp too. But I kind of feel like this one grabs a little bit more. So I think I still have a couple little burrs or something on the edge of the blade. So anyways, just to kind of show you that. And then we're just going to kind of step up our game a little bit. So here's just piece of paper, from your printer. And again, I'll do a slow pass. And it's extremely sharp, as you can see. And I'll do a couple fast passes on here. Like, just really, really sharp. And then here's the Paramilitary 2, same deal. I'll do a slow one. And then a couple fast ones. Okay, so, I mean, you can see that it just rips through there. Now, if you get really close, and I don't know if this is going to show up. This side was the CRKT. And it's probably not going to show up, but that edge is like smooth. This edge with the Paramilitary 2, there's still a little bit of a rip in the paper. I doubt that's going to show up, but you just have to kind of trust me. It's just not quite as smooth yet, and I think I'll get it there. I just need to work on it a little bit more. So there's on that kind of a paper. Here is one of those flyers that you get in the mail, one of those cardstock kind of papers. So I'll do a slow pass on that. A little bit thicker paper. So I don't know if you can see that again. Pretty clean cut there. And then I'll do a couple fast passes. So, like, as you can see, it's very sharp. And then I'll do the same thing on the Paramilitary 2. So slow, and then a couple fast. I mean, you can see the paper's just flying off of there. So, and I guess here's one more little thing from the mail. It's hard stock too, so we'll just do just kind of the same kind of paper, but just to show you the edge that I've gotten. And then a paramilitary too. I mean, I could just do this all day long. I mean, and I have been since I've been sharpening these two knives. But to me, right now at this moment, the CRKT is just a little bit sharper. Now the steel is easier to sharpen because it is a little bit softer. So maybe that's why I've gotten a little bit better edge out of it. And this one I'm still needing to like kind of fine tune it, so to speak. So anyways, I just wanted to kind of show you a couple of my fastest or sharpest knives. And you know, surprisingly it's this one. I really would have thought it would have been this one, but I'm gonna keep working on this and see if I can get it a little bit sharper. But anyways, I just kind of wanted to get you guys' opinion on blade steels, what you guys like, what is your sharpest knife. I mean, it could be, you know, just a standard Victorinox, you know, because you can get any blade really sharp. The difference I really think is just in the quality of the steel and how long is it going to hold its edge, because you know, you can get a really nice edge on a cheap steel, it's just not going to last as long. So you know, that's kind of the double-edged sword. Anyways, so just thought it'd be kind of a cool little discussion to have. If you guys want to chime in, you can leave a comment down below, or you can just make a VR and kind of show me some of your sharpest blades. Show off a little bit. So anyways, that's it. Fort Worth Glock Guy, out of here.